Good morning and happy Friday. Welcome to Mornings on Main Street for this Friday, March 24th. I'm your host, Stefanie Miller. Coming up on today's show, we hear from the Engagement and Educational Director of Women Veterans of America. Now, Women Veterans of America has been around since 1990, and since that time, they have worked to advocate for women veterans and those currently serving in the military. We have so much more on this organization, on the work they do, and how you can connect with them coming up in a few short minutes. After that, we take a trip to Spring Hill, Tennessee, where reporter Chris Yao shares with us a little boutique there in Spring Hill that will soon be doing Easter photos for your family for free. He'll have more coming up. But first, let's get a check of our headlines. Disorientation has been found to be the cause of a plane crash at Percy Priest Lake almost 2 years ago. The findings come from the National Transportation Safety Board's final report. Now, this particular crash killed 7 people. It happened around 2 minutes after takeoff that the plane crashed at Percy Priest Lake, just a few miles away from the airport near Fate Sanders Marina. The NTSB found no evidence of pre-impact mechanical malfunctions. You can read much more about this by going to mainstreetnashville.com. Then House Bill 0447, the bill to protect the Duck River, has passed. A segment of the Duck River will be designated now as a Class 2 scenic river. The bill will also require permitting of certain water resource projects in Class 2 scenic river areas, subject to rules by the TDEC commissioner. The bill is scheduled to go before the House's Government Operations Committee next Monday, where it will be reviewed as either favorable or unfavorable. Now, you can learn more about those who went out to support the bill and more about the bill itself by going to mainstreetmurray.com. All right, so check out these pictures. A mounted wild boar is, let me tell you, one of the many, let me say, unique items that you would be able to find at Buried Treasures. That was one item sold. Buried Treasures is a fun store in Fairview, Tennessee, that recently celebrated 30 years of being in business. Now, store owners, they tell Main Street Fairview's Nancy Stevens that their biggest joy is you, the customers. Some of the inventory at Buried Treasures include vinyl records, home decor, books, and much more. You can read more about Buried Treasures in Fairview and its success by going to mainstreetfairview.com. Let's get a check of that forecast and what we can expect over the weekend by checking in with Tennessee Valley weather.
Good morning to you. Ben Luna here with you in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center, tracking a threat for strong to severe storms across the region as we roll through this evening and tonight. Some of those storms capable of producing some pretty strong winds, and yeah, there's even enough energy to support some twisting in the atmosphere. Now, as you can see, the core of the severe weather threat is southwest of I-40 back down into parts of Mississippi. However, a good part of the mid-state region, including Music City down to the Alabama state line and the I-65 corridor, included in an elevated risk for severe weather. It does intensify the further south you go, so really Columbia to Pulaski and then back toward Mississippi could again be at risk for seeing these really strong winds across the area. Enough energy is going to be there that we could see some twisting leading to some tornadoes, and again, the likelihood of some very, very heavy rainfall before all this is said and done with. Here's the futurecast as we step through today. Notice a line of storms will start to work in here by the midday. These could be supercell storms supporting again that twisting threat in the atmosphere that will continue as we head into this evening, really ramping up at about 9 to 10 o'clock. And then the main line starts to really come together between 10 and midnight, and that's going to work its way across the mid-state region here, again from Clarksville down through Nashville as we head through this evening, intensifying still as it approaches the Cumberland Plateau before all this is finally said and done with as we head into tomorrow. So we have to get through this before we get to some nicer weather here for your Saturday. Here's a quick check on things. Again, that severe weather threat through tonight, ending early Saturday morning east of I-65 toward the plateau. We'll do some clearing. Saturday actually might wind up being a pretty good day, 74 tomorrow. We will pick up a chance for overnight storms again Sunday. That's going to lead into a cloudy Monday. We do have some slightly cooler air that's going to find us here by around the mid-mark of next week. Again, stay weather aware as you head through this evening. We'll be watching it over at tnvalleyweather.com. I'll leave you the final look at the forecast. Have a great and safe Friday.
Thank you. Well, I recently sat down for an interview with the Engagement and Education Director of Women's Veterans of America. When we come back, hear how they're advocating and connecting women veterans who are either out of the military and those who are currently serving. We have much more coming up right after this.
Hockey in Music City just hits different. It's one big honky-tonk party. It's the sea of gold in the crowd, the goals, the saves, the celebrations. It's an experience like no other. Experience Predators hockey all season long. Visit NashvillePredators.com/season tickets and join the Loyal Legion today. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets, and we'll see you at Bridgestone Arena.
It's just a few cocktails at happy hour.
It was just a few cocktails at happy hour.
You really good try.
There aren't any cops around.
I didn't think there were any cops around.
I drink and drive all the time.
Sir, you've been in a serious crash. I need you to hang on, okay? Cover your hands, sir. You are right now?
Main Street Sports Today strives to bring you the most timely and comprehensive coverage of sports news and more from Middle Tennessee and beyond.
We cover the teams you care about from preps to pros and bring some of the most influential voices in sports to keep you in the know.
Tune into Main Street Sports Today each Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Download the Main Street Media TV app.
Welcome back. This morning, we are getting ready to learn a little bit more about the work done by Women Veterans of America. To tell us all about it, we have the current Endowment and Education Director. We have Yolonda Williams with us this morning. Yolonda, thank you so much for giving us your valuable time because you are one busy person.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here and just bring a light and shine on what our organization is and what it does. So I'm excited to be here.
Well, I'm going to speak for all of us. I can't wait to learn more. You are a veteran yourself. You served 25 years in the military.
Yes, ma'am.
What was your time like in the military? Because I think that's going to help us understand how important Women Veterans of America is.
So I joined the Army in 1988. And that was the time when, we were making some adjustments and women were clearly allowed to serve. But there was, like the glass ceiling situation. Women were kind of like, we know you're here. I started out as a combat photographer and I did that for 10 years. And then I reclassed to be a military intelligence non-commissioned officer. And I I had some really great assignments. I was the personal photographer, Warren Christopher. I had an opportunity to deploy in support of him in efforts where he traveled. And then when I switched over to military intelligence, it was a huge opportunity to just figure out what our nation, our government, and the things that we get involved in. A lot of it I can't talk about. But, and clearly deployed in support of our efforts in Afghanistan. And I lost some soldiers, and I'm glad I don't look like what I've been through. And God has blessed me to be in this place where I can advocate for what some of my sister veterans and even cross over to my brothers in arms so that we can bring light to what our veterans need.
And you truly are an advocator and community connector for this organization. Now, share with us a little bit more about what the work you guys do.
So our mission is the advocacy of women veterans, and that is both active and retired. It does not matter what branch. We are probably the most diverse veteran service organization because we accept all branches. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter if you are a combat veteran or you are in the National Guard or in the reserves. If you served, you're accepted, you are welcome, and you are my sister. And I think that my sister's keeper is real. This is a landing space for women when they transition from the military, no matter how they transition out, a place where we can have conversations and things that are important to you. Somebody's been through it and you have someone to listen. Our primary goal is, one of my sisters, she calls it the rib, our rights and our benefits and our education. Those are the things that we press forward through legislation, through our local governments to make sure that women are heard. One of the hugest things that I think Tennessee specifically was able to do, and that, because I was in a national commander role at the time, rolled over to several states. We got the bill passed to recognize June 12th as Women Veterans Day. And that was the day that women were allowed to serve in the military. And so passing that legislation takes all of our lobbying and saying that my sisters are here. So
for anyone, I guess, who is familiar with any sort of military, any person serving, they know that it can be hard transitioning, man or woman. What is the difference for, I guess, a woman transitioning out of the military, maybe compared to a man?
That is such a great question. And the reason why I say that, women, we wear so many hats. We are moms, we are wives, we are breadwinners. So sometimes, and a lot of my sisters out there don't even recognize that they are veterans because they go right into the role of whatever they need to do. I go right back to work. I am such and such's mother. I am someone's wife. Walking in their own identity is difficult. And we don't talk about it a lot because who's listening? So until organizations like ours were created to find that space where you can have a listening ear and to just talk about ways that you could get back into the workforce or follow up on your education. That's what the difficulty is. It's just like, what do I do now? A lot of males, and you'll see them, everybody walks around combat veteran. When you say veteran, a lot of people go, it's the little guy with the cane and the black and yellow ball cap. Women don't look like that. They look like me. Yes. And it's like, seriously, you did 25 years? Yes. Do I look like I've been through combat? Maybe not, but I have. So people judge women a lot by the way that they look and not what they've been through. So that transition makes it even harder to be able to go into the workplace, to go into just any area and just figure out where you fit.
This is going to be my last question, but it's not, and I'm going to go ahead and ask it. How can we better help the women in our lives? A lot of times you have a couple that they're both military, but how can we, I guess, start helping those ladies that are coming out?
So super, super, super cool and a great way to ask. One of the things that we've started here locally, and the reason why I am the Education and Endowment Chair after coming off as being the National Commander, is that in our local community, we're trying to find ways to help our women go back to college, get back involved, get those degrees that they may not have gotten immediately upon transition. And so we started endowments in those cities. And here in Clarksville at Austin Peay, the Women Veterans of America Endowment is in full swing, and we are always looking for donations. All you have to do is type in Women Veterans of America on Austin Peay site. We are there to make a donation. But in addition to that, there's about 6,689 women veterans right here in this city. And to my sisters out there, I know sometimes you don't think about it, but yes, you are, and you are loved. This weekend, we are doing an education summit at Austin Peay, right next door to the Newton Family Life Center, Resource Center, where we're just bringing all of the organizations that support veterans. But this day is about women. Bring your kids. We'll have stuff for them to do, but there's going to be, the VA is going to be there. That's the Veteran Affairs Office. They'll be there for education. They'll be there for your claims. We'll have all sorts of opportunities to get enrolled in school, to find out your benefits. It's just going to be a great day about women and how we can serve them in this community. And if you are an organization that wants to come and support or be there on that day, or just look at doing it even next year, because we're going to make this an annual thing. This is our second year in a row that we take Women's History Month, coincidentally, and we recognize women veterans, and we do this huge education summit. And that's just one way that you could do that here in the local community.
So Yolanda, if you didn't catch it, so in Clarksville, Tennessee at Austin Peay is where she is based out of. How many other chapters do you have, and can you share with us those locations? So
we have 10 actively operating. Guam, Texas has 2, Huntsville, Alabama, South Carolina, North Carolina, and I can give you all the cities, Stephanie, because I don't carry that in my head, so that we can share that with the viewers. But we have, and in Nashville, there's also a local chapter. So and Clarksville, even though I'm here as a member, Chapter 47, and Zoe Jackson is that local commander, and she is that chapter is right here in Clarksville.
And then all you have to do, again, just search and Google, women veterans of America, and you can find all the chapters there.
Yes.
And more about how it got started, because you guys got going in 1990.
So our story is unique, probably in the sense that 1990 was the heels of Desert Storm, Desert Shield, right? The first time probably that women were heavily engaged in combat in a large force and capacity. There were some doctors and nurses in New York City who were serving those that were coming back. And what we found out then was that there weren't specific things for women. We'll just talk about what kind of gowns you had on. Were there GYN to do special exams, private rooms, different showers, different bathrooms, downrange and back here in America? And so those ladies came together and met with several other women veterans and just started talking about what are things unique to women that we need to start. And they started with the VA. And that's why a lot of our issues started in the healthcare arena. And how can we equalize that? How can we make what women need when they transition, what specific care to a woman needed to be added to what was generally just, you need to go see the doctor, drop your pants and cough, and not minimizing what that looks like, but just in reality, it's different for us.
Right.
So that was the start. And then we moved over, and we still do that when there's issues that come up that need to be addressed. Even being recognized down to the quote and love President Abraham Lincoln and the quote about his orphans. There's women that serve. So now we need to find something that's more inclusive to both women and men veterans who serve. So we continue to advocate for equality and making sure that women's voices are heard.
Thank you so much for sharing all of this with us. This isn't going to be the last time we're going to hear from Yolonda, because there's so many, I think, little topics that we can continue to hit on. But first, being this coming up weekend, you have the event on Saturday. If you can once again give us that information, and for those watching, share this with those women veterans that you have in your circle, in your life, whether they're a veteran or they're currently serving.
Yes, Austin Peay State University from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Newton Family Resource Center. We will be having an education summit for women veterans. If you are a veteran service organization and you want us to know more about you, please come out and join us. If you are a woman veteran, just come out and see what we have to offer. Find out how you can get your education started, get your benefits going, and just have some general conversations with your sisters. Because again, I am my sister's keeper, and I'm here to help you be successful.
Yolonda, thank you so much for sharing all of this. Thank you for your time. Again, Yolonda Williams, 25-year veteran, and now the current Endowment and Education Director for the Women Veterans of America. Again, thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, stick with us here. We have a lot more coming up after this.
Welcome to the Omni Nashville Hotel. Urban elegance with a vintage touch. Our 800-room hotel opened up in the fall of 2013 with 746 guest rooms and 54 suites.
Medical Associates, we've got you covered from neck to toe. Our orthopedics team offers services in sports medicine, foot and ankle reconstruction, spinal surgery, and more. We also have in-house imaging and physical therapy. Dixon Medical Associates, we specialize in what moves you.
Chris Yao takes us to a local boutique there that will soon be doing Easter photos for the families.
Welcome into This Week in Southern Middle Tennessee. I'm with Margaret Ziegler of Vintage 615 right here in Spring Hill. And she's got a great event coming up this weekend where they are going to invite the Easter Bunny to be right here in Spring Hill. He's going to take free pictures with all of the kids and I guess adults if they want to.
Yes,
Trust
pets and everything.
Just bring them all. We're gonna have a good time here, right here again at Vintage 615 in Spring Hill. Margaret, thanks for letting us be a part of what you guys are doing. This is another one of those events that you have brought to Spring Hill to kind of bring that sense of community, and you guys do so much with Santa Claus and fall festivals and now the Easter Bunny. Why is it important to you guys to do that?
You know, Chris, when we first got Vintage 615, first these events were going on before I bought the store, so I inherited them.
Gotcha.
But you know, just being a business owner in Spring Hill, you feel like you got to do more. You know, not that you have to, but you feel like, okay, I've been given this. What can I give back? How can I use this to empower people or love people or care about people or bring people together? So I could not do it.
Well, and so, you know, obviously Vintage 615 has a lot of unique items. And when you think about boutiques, most people think clothes.
Mm-hmm.
But what you guys have done is bring in local artists, local folks who are making jewelry or clothes or shirts or all kinds of different things. Why is it important to support local that way? Because obviously you're a local business. You know the importance.
Right. I started out in here. I had a little stay-at-home mom side business for 5 years in a booth right back over in there, you know. And so that
I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's new information.
Yes.
To me.
And so
we've known each other for almost 6 years and I did not know that.
That was it. And because we met when I bought the store, we didn't know each other before, but so I know what that feels like. I know that when you've got a small business, you may not be able to afford the rent of a big place, you know, but if you can sell your products in like a co-op type place like this right here, and you can rent space or you can do commission, then that helps you with your small business. Otherwise, it would just be online, and online is fine. And some of them have online, but we also want to cater to the people that like to touch and feel and like that boutique. This is an experience.
Oh, it is. Absolutely. I mean, when you walk in the door, you kind of almost get overwhelmed, but it's like your eyes are just drawn to all of these shiny objects. I know with my ADHD, I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? So, you get the necklaces when you walk in, the art behind the cash register. Everything just seems to have a purpose and a hometown feel here at Vintage 615. And having that hometown feel is very important.
It is. It is. When I go to market and buy things for vintage, I'm looking for those things that do touch your heart. You know, when you've got a girlfriend that's going through whatever she might be going through, or your mom or anybody, I want to have a gift that you can come in here and give to anybody, no matter what they're going through. And then our vendors, their work is just beautiful. Like Jill Harper, she's a local artist here. We've been friends since I was a vendor here for over 11 years. And people follow her and they love her work. And we've got about 25 more people like Jill in here, and their work is just exquisite.
Now, Spring Hill is the ultimate melting pot of melting pots right now. We have people from all over the country who are coming here.
Yeah.
And so building community, like I said, with these events, you're inviting those folks to come in and meet their neighbors. And find out what they're all about, but also show a little bit of pride for their new hometown. I mean, you see the coordinate pictures and the shirts and the pictures.
Anything I can get Spring Hill or Tennessee on, I've got it on there. I'm always looking for those things. And yeah, we do have a community area here, and a lot of our real estate agents come here and get their gifts and when people come in. But I'm also an ambassador for the Spring Hill Chamber of Commerce. So I put that hat on when people come in, and I'll say, well, how'd you find out about us? And they'll say that they just moved here, and I'm able to give them information to get plugged into the community and to get to know other people and find out all the resources here. So that's important for me too. I love it when they come in here and I can kind of direct them to different people in Spring Hill.
Well, this is a beautiful place. And again, Saturday, what time is the Easter Bunny going to show
up? So the Easter Bunny will be here Saturday from 11 to 3. And so my designer who makes all of this happen, she builds a photo set backdrop every year. I never know what it's going to be until I walk in myself. She'll be here all night, Friday night, building it. And it'll be so pretty for your family pictures. And so the Easter Bunny will be here from 11 to 3. So we've got a system where you come and check in and you'll get a text when it's your turn. So you can even go somewhere else and come back during your time to be here. And then on the side
don't go too far in Spring Hill.
Yes, don't go too far. And then, but we've got other little things down here in the Early's Honey Stand Shopping Center that you can do. And then on the side of the building, we have Kat, who is our goat farmer in Spring Hill, and she'll build a pen. And the goats will be in the pen. So you can go in the pen and feed and take pictures with the goats. And then from 2 to 3, Spring Hill Spider-Man will be here.
Oh, we know all about Spring Hill Spider-Man.
Yes. He's really busy. We couldn't get him for the whole day, but we got him for an hour. So if you want to see him, you want to get here between 2 and 3.
You got it. All right. Well, there you have it. We're going to be here in Spring Hill on Saturday for the Easter Bunny, the live goats, and Spring Hill Spider-Man. You can't beat it. It's going to be a fantastic day. Come meet your neighbors if you're down here in Spring Hill. And if you're not, come see what's going on. We've got a lot of great stuff going on right here in Spring Hill. Mm-hmm. So thank you guys for hanging out with us. I'm Chris Yao. Margaret.
And thank you, Chris. I've loved this guy for about 5 years now. We did one radio show together when we
first came here.
Yes. And I've seen that his babies are born now. I'm like Aunt Margaret. Yes. So I just appreciate you so much for everything that you do.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here and a pleasure to highlight businesses like yours.
Thank you, Chris.
And we'll continue to do that right here this week in Southern Middle Tennessee and Mornings on Main Street. Have a great day.
Okay. Hugs.
Chris, love it. Thank you so much. Well, thanks for joining us here for Mornings on Main Street. We hope you have a fantastic Friday, a wonderful weekend. Have fun, be safe, and we will see you back here on Monday morning.
Hockey in Music City just hits different. It's one big honky-tonk party. Visit NashvillePredators.com/season tickets and join the Loyal Legion today. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets, and we'll see you at Bridgestone Arena.
There's a lot to consider when it comes to choosing a Medicare plan. That's where Health Markets Insurance Agency can help. Independent licensed insurance agents who work with Health Markets can answer your questions about the different parts of Medicare, when you can enroll, benefits, costs, and more. Speak to a local licensed insurance agent today to get started on your Medicare journey.
At Miss Lucille's, we go for apple pie. A place that feels like a home away from home. A comfortable place to bring your family from out of town. It's a place where great conversations are had. It's a place where you can shop 200 small businesses in one location. It's a place for you to shop for gifts for any occasion or just to treat yourself. Come on down to Miss Lucille's. You'll be glad you did.